All right, guys, we have the new OA Defense Pro Elite here. Got to shoot this today, did a USPSA event. I shot terrible. I just had a little operation done on Friday, shot it today. My head was not in the game, to say the least. I shot absolutely terrible. The pistol, on the other hand, shot good. So this is gonna be kind of my first thoughts on this. What I liked, what I didn't like, any issues that I had. I bought this with my own money, so this is pretty well unbiased. I want to like it because I spent money on it, but at the same time, we'll talk about the issue that I do have with it. So, first off, I'm gonna field strip it. We're gonna clean it, go through it. I'll talk about it while I'm cleaning it. So kind of the highlights of it, you guys have probably seen it. Fully ambidextrous, 2311, takes SIG mags. It does come with 221 or 321 round SIG mags. Actually, these are PMag, the metal ones. And it does come with 2 17 rounders. So it comes with 5 mags total, which is nice. One issue that I had today, it's kind of odd, but I have 2 FDE regular SIG P320 mags. They fit. But my 2 FDE ones, for some reason, do not lock the slide back. One does intermittently, like randomly, like right then it does, but most of the time it doesn't. Well, of course it's gonna do it now. It was the 2 FDE mags that I had that sometimes don't lock the slide back for some reason. And maybe it's just because they have weak springs in them and they probably need new followers and springs replaced. These are old mags that I've had, but I found that odd that the 2 FDE ones, I ran 10 other magazines through it today. No issues except for the two FDE. So that was strange. There's my issue with it. Other than that, this thing shot awesome. I had a Holosun sitting around. This is a 507K. It was just sitting on a shelf, and I had to shoot open with it since it had a ported barrel. So I was like, you know what, might as well throw a red dot on it. So that's just what I had on the shelf to throw on it. So that's mounted right now. Probably gonna go with either the 509T or the 507 comp on it. I like Holosun's products enough. I thought about going with the Vortex Defender XL. If you guys have recommendations to throw on it, let me know in the comments. Obviously, I want as big a window as possible, but I like the Holosun stuff. I like the Vortex stuff, so we'll see where I end up with it. I know this optic is not going to stay on it after shooting it today, especially. Definitely not. The grip on this thing's awesome. I definitely felt a sure grip all day. When you pull up, it lends itself well, even with that little tiny dot, little tiny window. It lent itself well. I didn't find it too difficult to find a dot. A nice thing about the 2311, it comes with all the plates that you need for all kinds of different footprints. And those plates, this one for the 507 doesn't, because obviously it's a smaller optic. The front or the rear sight sits in front of the red dot, and the other ones have suppressor height sights. The other plates do built in, which is nice, but this one doesn't because it's obviously a smaller optic. They don't expect you to be running a suppressor on it, and it would block most of the window on that thing. I did go ahead and throw my front suppressor height post on there. It also came with that in the bag, which was pretty nice. So now I'm just co-witnessing my dot to my front, but the rear sights are not suppressor height on this plate, but the other plate they are. They come with, I think it comes with 3 different plates. Of course, the factory regular rear sight, ported barrel, slotted slide. I mean, it's a pretty looking gun. It feels good in the hand. Fully ambi all the way around. The trigger pull is right at 3 pounds. I have my Wheeler trigger scale here, between 3.06 and 3.12 is what I was getting pretty consistently, somewhere in that ballpark. Right just over 3, barely. It feels smooth, it's nice and crisp, reset's nice. It's definitely a shooter. So let's go ahead and start taking this thing apart. I'll keep talking more about it. Maybe I'll do how to field strip it while I'm doing that. So you have to line it up, kind of like a 1911. You have to line up that left side If I can get something in there. I bite my fingernails, guys. It's a terrible habit. You have to line that left side up with a little detent on the slide, and then you can take your takedown pin out. I didn't get it out far enough. Try not to scratch the shit out of a brand new gun, but it's mine. It'll get scratches on it before long. And then slide comes off, just like everything else. One complaint I do have, not really a complaint. This comes with a ported barrel. And maybe this is a skill issue, I guess. The ported barrel forced me to shoot open with it today. Which I'm just not good enough of a shooter to shoot open. Do ports make that big of a difference? They help, but it's not a comp. But with the ported barrel, I have to shoot with the guys with comps and like full-on race guns. So I do wish this thing I wish it gave you the option when you bought it to buy it with a ported barrel or without a ported barrel. I didn't get that option. Maybe if I like custom ordered it straight from OA, it would. I don't know. I bought this one through a retailer, just a regular store. And I'm making a mess already. It's dirty. I did shoot, I don't know, roughly 300 rounds through it today, maybe a little bit less. So she got her break in, hot and heavy, straight off the rip. That was I put a 0 on the dot, shot one magazine through it, put a 0 on the dot, and then took it out and shot a 6-stage USPSA, and then we shot some rounds after the competition. So she got her paces ran today. Didn't have any malfunctions, of course. I did give it a little bit of lube and wipe off the shipping CLP or the shipping grease that it came with, and lubed it up with the strike hold there. I love that stuff. Works great. And so I didn't have any issues functionality-wise. I will say I put that dot on it, and this is another my fault. I used some Loctite that when it came out, I forgot to put it on. So I put my 2 screws in the plate, and the screws for the Holosun obviously had Loctite already on them. So I ran them in, not even thinking about it, because I was up at the shop. I didn't have my Loctite handy. And I knew I didn't, and I was like, you know what, I should probably Loctite those before the competition. And I didn't get around to doing it. Never did it after I zeroed it and kind of realized what I did. And so the plate did come loose today. So put Loctite on your plate screws, guys. I don't know if maybe that's frowned upon. I'm sure I'm going to have some keyboard gunsmiths in the comments telling me, oh, never Loctite anything, just use foot-pound or your specs, torque specs. I did. I used my torque wrench. She still came loose. So Loctite your damn plate screws. But it didn't come off. It just did come loose, and we didn't notice it till the very end of the day. I was shooting accurately, so I don't mind that. But I did move slow, and I did miss targets. I left a lot of targets out there today, so my scores do not reflect this gun. They will definitely get better. Like I said, I had a little dealio done, so I just wasn't quite there mentally or physically. But we still went out there and had fun. We shot at the Devil's Hole Gun Club there in Havana, Illinois. It was fun. Come out and shoot with us if you're local, if you're here in Illinois. It's a good group of guys, and they set up a good challenging course. This thing does clean just like any other firearm, you know, nothing special about it. It does have an independent spring and guide rod. That is one thing that I will be seeking. It's a little tight, and it needs some more break-in, but I bet it has a probably 12-pound. Correct me if I'm wrong, OA, get in the comments. Tell me what weight spring this is so I know where I need to go. The recoil spring's a little tight. I wish it were just a little bit looser. Maybe if this is a 12, I'd go to a 10 for my specific ammo that I'm loading and shooting. I could handle a little bit lighter recoil. I'm shooting minor power factor. I'm not shooting major or loading anything crazy. So I think I could swap out springs. If anybody knows who's making the OA Defense recoil springs, bleep bloop it down there. Let me know so I can pick something up. For the caliber gun this is, I mean, you're spending the money, the porting is nice, it is definitely a nice shooter. And I went ahead and talked to OA, and they're sending me, well, I bought from them a non-ported barrel. So that'll fix that problem. This is going to be a really awesome limited optics gun. It's not quite to the, I'm not a good enough shooter to shoot open to begin with, but and this would probably make a really sweet race gun if somebody were going to do that. That's not what I'm there for. I like to shoot less competition because I suck. That's why. That's my excuse, my main reason, if I'm being honest with myself. It did get dirty today. I was put some rounds through it and shooting not the cleanest ammo apparently. These are some home hand loads that went through it and left some residue a little bit. As far as functionality thing, this thing is a super smooth shooter though. Like follow-up shots are there. I was shooting that little tiny 507K red dot window, able to find the window. It feels really good in the hand when you draw and pull up. You're right there, even with that tiny window. Like I didn't find myself having to search for it or anything. When I came up, it was just right there. So I can't complain about that. It does have an oversized mag release button. Another, not really a complaint, and this will change. The metal mags that came with slide out fine, really nice and smooth. Some of my SIG mags, these are all empty by the way. Some of my SIG mags, they don't fall out. They don't like to eject. They just fit a little bit tighter. It's right up there towards the top of the mag well. Like they go in fine until about the last half to 3/4 inch. And so I have to strip those if I'm not shooting the mags that came with the gun. I have to strip the P320 regular mags, which I'm not a big fan of. I might be able to do some loosen that safety up a little bit and make some adjustments so that they slide in and out easier. We'll have to take a closer look at that. And maybe that'll just break into, it does feel like it's polymer on the inside of there. Yeah, it has some polymer on the inside of that grip. It feels like maybe it's aluminum. I don't have a flashlight with me to look up in there. It feels like poly. No, I think that's just I think it is a full aluminum sleeve in there and everything. It almost felt like they had a polymer sleeve inside the mag well when I touched it, but I'm pretty sure it is aluminum, full aluminum. Yeah, we can fix that. Overall though, it was fun. I'm definitely going to be shooting this firearm more. I think it's going to replace, you know, I love my my X5 Legion. That's what I've been shooting. I got a bunch of trigger work done to it. KKM barrels hooked me up with a really nice barrel that I love for that thing. But it was time for a change. I got to shoot one of these OA Defenses out at SHOT Show 2025 and loved it. As soon as I shot it, I was like, oh boy, I'm gonna have to buy one of those. And I did. I don't think I'm gonna go ahead and, I don't think I'm gonna take that firing pin and everything out. We might as well, I guess. Show you guys how to do that if you don't already know. So the firing pin on this one, you do need some sort of little tool or a punch or something, and there's a little button on the inside of that back plate. You just depress the button and the back plate slides off, and then your firing pin comes right out. I haven't stripped the extractor off of this one yet. There's a spring in there too. I haven't stripped the extractor off of this one yet. I don't quite know how. I do see a pin down here. It does sit underneath the optics plate, so I might have to take the optic off to get my extractor out. But after just a couple hundred rounds, we probably don't need to do that. Maybe next time we strip it, we'll do a full strip and inspect that extractor and make sure it's all nice and clean in there. For now, we'll just wipe everything else down, give her a nice coat of strike hold. Do you coat your firing pin, spring and firing pin? I know some people that are like, no, never coat it. I do, especially with strike hold. This is a dry lube, so after I coat this, it'll go back in here and it'll literally dry and just create a film on the metal. It's the best lube I've ever found. This stuff is truly amazing. So this does only go one way. There's a beveled edge on this little rear plate. When you push that down in there, the beveled edge has to go down, point down towards the receiver of the firearm. So that should be able to sit right in there. And then you just push your firing pin down. Be careful, don't lose an eye. You slide it up into place and your firing pin is back in place. Easy enough. Give this one last nice little wipe down. Throw some lube in there on points of contact. All right, barrel. I do like to lube up a little bit, especially on the block. You can already see where this thing is going to wear. Yeah, there's actually two pretty good chips that are already off of it. There's one right here and one right here. So we're gonna definitely see some wear marks coming through that. I mean, that's break-in on a fairly tight tolerance gun. I don't mind seeing that. They kind of came off in flakes, so maybe it's a coating issue. I don't know. Normally I don't see them like chip like that. Let me see if I can show you this. There's a chip right there. There's a chip right there. So I mean, it is where the wear points are going to be. Tell me if you think those are wear points or if that's a bad coating on a barrel that's going to chip off and kind of chintzy. I don't know. I've never quite seen them do that. It looks like flakes coming off of it. But at the same time, it could be just where it's going to wear. Not that I care. This thing's going to see some abuse, guys. But after 200 rounds, that's how your wear starts to look, I guess. I don't. As far as finish on the firearm itself goes, pretty good. No complaints there. I haven't seen any chips. We'll do a closer inspection when I get this back together here and wipe it down. When you're putting the spring back in this one, there is like two ledges that it sits down on, and it like catches that first ledge sometimes and it won't set back onto your frame. So you have to make sure that you actually have that spring all the way down to the proper seating position, because it can catch on that first little spot. I like to coat generously in lube, especially when I first get guns. Coat everything like that wear spot. I'll figure out where it wears, and then once we start seeing the wear points, you kind of can narrow down the lube application on most guns. Do I have to drop that in a little bit? Yeah, okay. So apparently you have to drop that slide catch in a little bit. It won't even let you go back until you drop that slide catch in to pin your barrel, and then it'll let you go back. I didn't notice that yesterday, but I must have done it in the right order yesterday. I mean, it makes sense, because otherwise you're going to miss your barrel pin. Wipe the outside down here. Take a little bit closer look on the outside finish. The stippling on the handle is fantastic. This thing worked great. Like, as far as grip goes and trigger pull, it is solid. I know I'm going to catch shit for this 507 on here. That's okay though. This video is about to die, but there she be. So we'll get that non-ported slide in here, shoot it in limited optics, put a different optic on it. Let me know how much you hate this 507K on here, because I'm sure it's going to piss all kinds of people off, and I'm pretty pumped about that. Oh, I'll show you that. Gosh, focus for me. So you can see the plate does have that rear sight built on in front of the optic. The other plates has suppressor height rear sight built in front of the optic. So once I move this to a proper red dot that's not tiny, it'll have suppressor height sights right in front of it too for co-witnessing, which will be nice. So here she is. Safety won't go on until you have your hammer back. The Stippling's fantastic. Like, you can definitely grip this thing. All right, guys, there you have it. That's the OA Defense 2311 Pro Elite. Just got it. We're gonna keep putting rounds through it. That's kind of my initial reading on it. Just let you guys see it, go through it, clean it real quick. I do want to hear your guys' comments, what optic I should put on this. Like I said, this was sitting on the shelf, so it went on it because I was competing in open division, so I might as well have one. But what optic should I put on the front of this thing? And then tell me also if anybody's going to start developing the springs for this thing, where I can get those. If OA themselves is going to throw a spring kit out there, if some other manufacturers are going to start making some things, or if there's something else that I should just try and make fit. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know if you guys have gotten to shoot one of these yet, and love to hear it, and we will go from there. I'll update you guys as we continue to shoot it and get more rounds, and thanks for watching.